to in the esports scene.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
And good evening to you.
Evening over there, is it?
Tis 7 p.m. The sun is down.
Well, how was I supposed to know that?
We've been doing this every week for like 4 or 5 years.
That's a fair point.
Okay. I'm glad we could agree.
I got a friend who lives in Alaska, though, says the sun sets like once every 6 months. So you could have moved for all I know. I haven't spoken to you in like a week.
That's a good point. Could have packed up and moved to like, I don't know, the South Pole or something.
It's true. You could have.
Not told a soul. They have internet down there. I think.
Starlink.
Anywho, happy podcast day. Very glad to be here on such a blessed occasion.
Happy podcast day.
Yes, very good. In new world news today, apparently Russia landed some missiles in Poland and killed 2 people. So that was something nice to wake up to this morning.
Yeah. I found that out on, I think it was Grimdank or the Boys subreddit. So
yeah, of course, the Boys subreddit. They talk about current events all the time. Wait, do they?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
They were just making a meme of Homelander when he was like drinking the cow's milk, and he's like, "Whoa." Yeah, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny, but I feel like there's an event here I'm missing. So I had to go to Twitter to try and find out information about that, but all I found out there was people were saying Jimmy Fallon's dead. Rest in peace, Jimmy Fallon. He's not dead, because they're all posting pictures of James Corden, and none of it makes sense.
Nope. It sounds like the Boys subreddit is a bit off the rails.
No,
I guess.
That was Twitter. That was Twitter where I went to find out.
Twitter is way off the rails. Why would you go to Twitter this week for news? It's completely over to chaos at this point. That's all.
It depends on what you're looking for. Like, all I needed to find out was, did 2 missiles land in Russia? And yes, that is what from Russia land in Poland. Yes, that is what I found out.
I know, but like we talk, you know about this, right?
I mean,
like
I know
there was a verified system, and then Elon Musk, like, anyone can get the verified sticker for $8, and now it's insane.
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean I wasn't able to find the information I required. I did.
Okay, that's good. You just had to wade through a bunch of disinformation first, which is super useful.
I mean, I don't know how much I waded through. All I saw there was also a rest in peace Jimmy Fallon hashtag trending.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing that now as I'm looking, so that's cool.
Yeah, which, I mean, people have done that kind of stuff before with like, oh no, or someone died, but they're not. I'm like, I never really get the joke.
It's 13-year-old humor, right? It's just putting some chaos out into the world. That's hilarious. At the end. Yeah. Anywho, yeah, as far as I can tell, what happened was Russia's been sending missiles over Poland into Ukraine because part of Russia, like a straight line from a part of Russia to Ukraine, goes through Poland. And apparently it was like a weird malfunction, and I don't know what NATO's going to do about that, but I guess we'll see.
The thing that I like, if I was Poland, I would have been like, hey, could you guys not, right? Like, please don't fire them through our airspace. And then when they keep doing it because it's Russia, maybe evacuate the area in the flight path.
Yeah, evacuate the area. Put up some missile defense systems. Be like, if missiles pass into our airspace, we shoot them down. That's it.
Yep.
Like, screw you guys. Find another way to get your missiles into Ukraine. Like, we're not going to actively, defend Ukraine, but like, you can't use us to attack them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm sure there are very many good reasons why they couldn't do that, or didn't do that, or didn't want to, at the very least.
Yeah.
Not my area of expertise.
Yeah, you think that would be a thing, like, from the beginning? Like, look, Russia, our airspace is not for missiles. Thank you. Bye.
No.
Well, and so the trick about NATO is NATO was created specifically for the purpose of, if Russia invades you, the other countries in NATO will help push Russia out. And this isn't Russia trying to invade Poland. Even if it was on purpose, it's not an invasion. It's just like, we shot 2 missiles at you, and now what? Like, there's nothing to push out, you know? It's very weird. I don't know if NATO has specific rules of what to do in this scenario. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I feel like the easiest thing to do would be to have just have Russia say sorry, promise not to do it again, and maybe a fine of some sort, right? Like that, Russia will be like, look, let me try to appease you real quick because you're not who I'm aiming at. It was a misfire or whatever.
Yeah. I don't see how it benefits Russia at all to attack Poland on purpose. Like, that's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I would say you can't shoot missiles over our airspace anymore. We're going to shoot any down that we see, and I don't know, like pay $50 million to some Poland fund. I don't know, man. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that Russia has $50 million sitting around. They're not doing super well, but maybe.
I don't know. Offer them some free gas. Like, you want some free natural gas?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Anywho, we'll see how that goes. Another news, a new Chainsaw Man came out. My gosh, I love this show so much.
It's a good show. It's a good show.
It's so good. The Denji power relationship is the greatest thing in anime right now.
It's up there for sure.
It's just when so like fast forwarding a bit, this demon's like, if you guys kill Denji, I'll let you go. And Power's like, all right, cool. And they're like, fiends can't make pacts with demons. Sorry. And she's like, you want to wrestle? And then she's like, no, you'll just try to kill me. Like, immediately, he's like, I know what this is. I live with you. I know what you're thinking at all times. Screw you. It was great. She doesn't even deny it. She's like,
I like her later reasoning for wanting to kill Denji is that her being stuck there is an impediment to her getting a Nobel Peace Prize.
It's so great when she's explaining her plan to like win the Nobel Peace Prize, become prime minister, increase human suffering by increasing the sales tax to 100%. And the other demon hunters are like, what? And Denji's like, she's always like this, it's fine. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, Power is the best. Can I just say the new recruit, whatever her name is, the one with the knife, who's just constantly sobbing the entire episode, she's the worst. And like, I get it. She gives her backstory, and I understand why she is the way that she is. But like, sack up for 2 minutes. Just like find some fortitude and be like, okay, I'm going to stop crying for 68 seconds. She can't even do that. She's just crying the whole time. And it's like, all right, well, you're useless in a fight. That's great. I'm glad you're here with us in the demon hunting corps.
I mean, she probably wasn't going to be great in a fight anyway. I don't know that she necessarily has any real skills.
Right.
She's very clearly been forced into this position and is utterly unequipped to handle any part of it.
Why did they bring her? They should have been like, we're doing a mental evaluation of you. You suck. We're not taking you. Sorry.
It's entirely possible that she seems outwardly competent when she's not in immediate life-threatening situations, right? And so and like I suspect there's something larger going on with the world that we haven't been shown yet, where the public office of safety or whatever it is that fights demons maybe needs the manpower, because they keep talking about how all the partners keep dying, and it's like, okay, they're low on people. They need people. This person seems fine, reluctant, a little nervous, timid, but otherwise is handling all the basic training that they do adequately, right? Like, they put her in a squad, they put her in training pairs, be like, here's the buddy system, you guys are gonna like go on some what seem like easy missions, we're gonna like get you up to speed, and then she just breaks down.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that she was of any use at all, even in smaller demon killing hunts. Like, even if she just off to the sideline, like watching someone else do all the work and didn't break down, like at some point you're like, okay, I don't know. Whatever. It's fine. She's here now. She's of no use to anybody, and she stabbed Daki. So excellent work, young demon hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So I thought it was interesting too. So anyway, blah blah blah. From last week's episode, they're stuck in a physical bubble of some kind. They can't escape no matter what they try to do. They just loop back into this floor of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
They have a theory that time has stopped too because all the clocks are stuck at 8:18. But I don't know. They can't really prove it because they can't leave. So
they can't prove it, but the show meta-contextually does prove it by saying, "Oh, I'm the Eternity Demon," and it shows it as a Mobius strip, so he clearly has some space-time powers. So I think time is paused.
Probably. Although, yeah. I'm just saying, like, are people afraid of eternity? It's a weird thing for
the idea that you are nothing in the grand scheme of things, that like time will always continue on without you, that what you have and what you hold dear literally mean nothing, does scare people.
So this demon is existential dread.
I would say so, yes.
Fair enough. Okay. So anyway, yeah, and I thought it was interesting too that Aki is the best because he just comes back into the hotel room after his patrol and he's like, "So guys, you know that demon that Power killed? It's a lot bigger now." Like he just like casually is like, it's like taking up the floor to ceiling, side to side. It's this giant mass of writhing mouths and faces and stuff. It's like it's bigger, is what he says. He's amazing.
Very nonchalant.
Check it out. It's like, oh, it's this giant, horrific, eldritch horror. You kind of downplayed that a little bit, Aki. Just a thought.
Just a smidge, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so then it immediately is like, okay, what's up? Oh, no, it doesn't. What's her face? Ghost Hand tries to kill it first with Ghost Hand.
Yeah, rips out like a head of it or something, and it starts freaking out, but growing at the same rate.
Yeah.
So injuring it seems like it hurts it, but maybe empowers it in some way. I don't know.
Sure seems that way.
Yeah.
That's exactly my interpretation of it. So it gets bigger, and they're like, oh, we can't stab you to death, probably. Cool. It says that its heart is somewhere else, which seems like information you probably didn't have to give up.
Nope.
Just saying, didn't volunteer that information, guy.
Yeah, you could have kept that to yourself.
Yeah. And then says, if you let me eat Denji, alive or dead, you can go. Like, names Denji by name. Like, if you Denji. And it's like, okay. So immediately I was like, oh, Denji's a threat. Like, to this demon in particular, or to maybe someone who's in control of this demon, maybe somebody higher up in the food chain.
I think
Denji has stood out for some reason.
I think that's probably right. I prefer to think of it as like they're in this thing, right? Like the entire building at this point is the demon. Like it's part demon form. That's how it's able to loop time and everything in it.
They're in its stomach. So,
right. Yeah. And
agreed.
they've been walking around talking, and so I think I want to say that it's just like messing with them. It's like, hey, what if I like just pick one of them at random, and be like, like one of the people who are taking this very well, and try to stir up some panic between them, because it seems to enjoy that for fun or whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's her face says that demons enjoy fear and panic. It's like their favorite thing.
So I wonder if it's possible that this guy was just like, he's taking it well. Let's ask for him. Like, see if we can get him to panic. See if we can get the ones who are already panicking, like, really over the edge. Which, spoilers, they do. So, you know, that's. I feel like it's probably going to be that, like, someone else knows of him and wants him killed. That's probably more likely. Just because the story's got to start going somewhere at some point, you know?
Yeah. Right, because we've been stuck in this hotel for 2 full episodes now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, 2.5. 1.5, yeah. It'll be 2 by the time we get out of it next episode.
Totally. If we're still in the hotel at the end of the next episode, I'm going to be like, all right. I know you guys like drawing hotel rooms, but seriously.
I see where they got their animation budget. Half the season takes place in this one hotel room. That's why whenever they cut away from it, everything's so fluid and like lovely, and it's like, oh wow, you're not using like recut, copy pasted versions of your characters. You're like making sure that the wind in this area is like blowing their hair specifically how it would here. Okay.
Right.
You're really animating the hell out of that cigarette slowly burning. That is sick animation. Thank you. I appreciate the details. We're going to spend the next 6 episodes in one hotel room.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's how that happened.
Accurate.
Yeah, there's just so many little great things in this episode. Like Aki explains how the unhinged, the ones with a bit of a screw loose. No, what's her face does? Eye Patch says that. She says the demon hunters with a bit of a screw loose do better with this. Which I can understand that. You got a short lifespan when you're fighting demons, and the ones that don't necessarily have it all together and don't quite understand that at an intrinsic level do better. Because what's her face? Knife Girl understands it perfectly at a very deep and abiding level in a way that Denji does not. So, yeah,
accurate.
That was good. And yeah, we got to see something from Aki too. That was a little bit, not normal, because what we've gotten from him so far is he's the ultimate straight man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole thing with putting gum on the poor girlfriend of the dead demon hunter is like, yo. All right. I like that Eye Patch just busts up laughing about it.
Yeah. It's good. Showing a little humor in him. Otherwise, he was a little like John Wick-esque. Just I'm focused on killing the next demon and doing my job and like putting up with Denji and power in my apartment. But we're slowly being given personality. Like Eye Patch Girl, whose name I think is Himeno.
Yep.
Hinomi. Maybe Hinomi. She's the one who got him to smoke. He loves his coffee and reading his newspaper in the morning. Like, we're slowly getting more character out of him, but it's on like a drip feed.
Right. Yeah, he's not forthcoming with much at all. Well, and then he takes a knife that's intended for Denji. So we'll get back to that in a second. But so he takes the knife and everyone's like, what the crap, dude? And he's like, look, Denji's really strong, wants to kill the gun demon, and is unhinged. And he is very brave as a result. I need him. I'm collecting people just like this dude. He cannot die. Sorry. We need people like this to kill the gun demon. He fits every bit of the profile. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Got it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, and then Himani's like, you can't use the sword. It'll take some years off your life. And it's like, we just established that demon hunters have short lives. What does that mean?
It could be like a Death Note thing. Where have you seen Death Note?
Yeah, Death Note's great.
Yeah. But like a person who makes a deal with a Shinigami can get Shinigami eyes, but it costs them half their remaining lifespan.
Yeah.
And so
what does that mean?
What does that mean? Is if you were supposed to get shot yesterday at 12 o'clock, and it's 12 o'clock now, so you've got 24 hours to live, you now only have 12, so you'll die at midnight. So it could be that...
So it's destiny.
It could be. I'm like, you're just theory crafting here.
Go ahead.
In this world, if Aki was supposed to die in 6 months, or like 6 years or whatever, he uses the sword, he's chopping years off the end of his life. Like, and they've already got such a low lifespan that it's a huge sacrifice to get rid of competent devil hunters.
Yeah, could be. That's magic, right?
Yeah.
To be able to say it's half of your years, and we can see the future to such detail that we know the day you're gonna die, and we're taking the half from there. How do you know that? Magic sword?
Well, no, the magic. I don't know.
Sword.
I don't think the magic sword's like half, right? Like it's. We're not specific about how much it takes. But also, I am curious now if Eye Patch Girls, all of her partners get given that sword, and that's why they keep dying. It's like they use it repeatedly and shorten their lifespans, and that's why she's had 8 dead partners.
But she wouldn't give it to Aki if that was the case. She'd be like, fuck this sword. I'm going to put you in a box under my bed, right?
But it's incredibly useful. She keeps living. They keep killing demons. It works.
She is willing to let Denji die before she lets Aki use the sword.
In this case, where there's an out, right?
Yeah. So she's like, sword is only for truly hopeless situations.
Right, because she obviously, when they turn up for work and he's carrying it, she's not like, no, put it in the car. You know,
Right. Yeah,
she
true.
must be okay with it on some level.
Probably. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I actually had a thought too that occurred to me was, what if the sword ages you? What if it just like takes all your organs and your brain and your skin and everything and just ages you by like 7 years?
And just
So you're
shortens your telomeres, like
yeah.
stops them from splitting again perfectly.
Yeah. So it just uses some really precise magic so that you age 7 years, so that your death, if it were to be of old age, comes sooner. Also, your effectiveness of a demon hunter is slashed because you're just older now, right?
Well,
Your body is worn out a little bit more, 7, 8 years more, and so that maybe hastens your death too. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to explain it, but that'd be nice.
It'd be nice. I don't think it's going to be making people older. I feel like, I don't know, because I would just be, I would be a truly awful person and just put it in the hands of kids and be like, all right, I need new in prime people working right now. You're a 6-year-old. Let's make you 18. Slash these 2 watermelons. Let's go.
Oh, you think it works against watermelons?
Who knows? I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm sure they'll talk about it.
Yeah.
They'll drip feed it to us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're in a situation. I just, like Denji is truly just an icon. It's like laying in the bed, covers on him. It's like talking about what's going on. And once it's clear, nobody has any idea what to do. He's like, I'm going to go to sleep because this bed's awesome. And it'd be a waste not to take a nap in it. And he's like instantly out. And he's like, what? This guy, that's amazing. Yeah, he's truly
unhinged.
Truly unhinged, but part of it's got to be his upbringing. He just has nothing for how many years, and he just lives for the now. He lives for the now that is his life, where he gets good food and there's awesome beds to sleep in, and his mind is just like, I'm just going to focus on awesome things are right now. I might die doing this demon hunting thing, but my life is so good today that screw the future. I'm living for now.
He's the ultimate optimist.
Yeah, kind of is. I mean, I don't know that he has optimistic. He does, because as he's jumping into the mouth of the Eternity Demon, he's like, "I want that kiss."
We all know what he's after.
Definitely an optimist. I love it when Aki and Himoni, when she gives him the cigarette, and Denji's immediately like, "That's kind of like kissing." Hey.
I mean, insert anime trope of indirect kissu, but you know,
is that I don't know what that is. What's that?
It's indirect kiss. Like, it's always a big deal in anime between characters where it's like, oh my god, they shared a Coke. That's like an indirect kiss. It's all over the place.
Shared a cigarette definitely qualifies then, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll allow it.
Yeah, but it was pretty good.
Good times.
It is good time.
I'm thoroughly enjoying. I almost went to call it Demon Hunter. It's Chainsaw.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it makes more sense now too why Aki is putting up with Denji and power. It's because they fit the profile. That's what he needs. He doesn't need them to be clean or smart or so civilized. He just needs them to be crazy and brave and have goals aligned with his of killing the gun demon for their own reasons, and they do. So we're done. That's all he needs. Yeah. Good stuff.
He needs people willing to take risks.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if it's because they're mentally screwed up, he'll take it. He'll accept that as a reason. Yeah. Oh, good stuff. Andor?
Yeah, I watched Andor.
Nice.
I'm caught up.
You have any thoughts?
I really want to know what happened to Smeagol.
Oh, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Intentionally ambiguous.
Yeah, because I mean, they made a big point, like song and dance of breaking out that we're all in this together, right? Like get out now, but he wasn't able to be like, can you guys help me? I can't swim.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking about it, and I was like, if you're him, like he has to know. He saw when he was flying in where he was. He knows they're underwater. He knows that any escape, unless they manage to coordinate someone to pick them up, means swimming, and he can't swim. So he had to have known on some level before I got out onto that platform. I'm just wondering if he just kind of buried that in the back of his mind and then was finally faced with it and was like, huh, okay, it's real now. Yep, no one's coming. I gotta swim. So it just absolutely paralyzed him.
I do wonder if, like, how long he'd actually been in there. Because it's like little details like the surrounding environment outside of your prison cell. Because they're in such an enclosed space for the entirety of their time. Like, only on those bridges can they even see out, and they wouldn't be able to see the ceiling or the lip of the building anyway. Which, I really didn't like the overhead aerial shot when they revealed, oh, it's in the shape of the Imperial logo. I was like, okay.
Well, the architects can have some fun. Come on.
That's. I don't think they're having fun. I think they were forced to do that. Probably at blaster point, but
yeah, you're probably right.
I'm just wondering if he's been in there for so long that he's kind of lost a little bit of these details of like what was it like on his way in, because the like the hangar door. Well, it's not a hangar. Like the hallway door that they open that leads to like the outside. That's where Cassian gets dropped off. But it's like the back ramp of like the dropship he was in connects to that point exactly. So if the ship you were flown in on didn't have any windows for the prisoner hold, and then it like docks, there's a good chance you actually don't see a lot of the outside. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm just wondering like how much he knew, how long he was in there, and what he did know has started to become fuzzy as he's like made this system to like keep order and like start counting his days down. I don't know.
Right. Just like laser focused on that.
But also, I mean, surely there should be escape craft for the prison workers, right? Like they have to come and go for their shifts, or do they live there? That it should be like a shuttle bay somewhere.
Yeah.
Go and find that. Don't just jump for it. You're not a bunch of lemmings. Stop pushing people over the edge.
Right. Well, I just think people are coming up from the bottom and they're just getting pushed by people 3 levels down and it's just dominoing its way up to the top.
Could be.
I don't think anyone's up there intentionally pushing people off. Maybe they are. Entirely possible. Yeah, I don't know. And I was thinking too, just jump. There's like 100 people down there.
Yeah,
like, just
you'll land on one of them.
Yeah, two people, 4 people. Each person grabs a limb and they make it work. Like I feel like this is entirely doable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my headcanon is that he gets pushed off, and then he's like, I can't swim, and the people around him are like, I know this guy. His voice, he got us out. Let's grab him, and then everybody lives. But the show makes a very particular point of being like only Cassian and this other dude are on the shore. Like, are the other guys okay? Did they just win the race?
My hope is that they all just swam in different directions. Like, you go that way, I'm going this way. But we do see like searchlights and people looking in the water for escape prisoners when they're on the beach in that final scene. So it's like great. Some of them are definitely getting picked up and probably sent right back to where they were.
Yeah. Or killed, whatever. Something like that. Yeah.
It's possible.
It is possible. Yeah, it's great though. I mean, the escape was great. I felt like they did a good job of being like, some people are just not going to make it, like even out of the workroom. They're just going to get shot. And they did have guns. We talked about that last week. Like, we sure hope they have laser guns. And they did. Hooray.
Huzzah.
Good job, the Empire. Because it would be embarrassing if they didn't. Yeah, like even people that we know, like people on Cassian's work crew are like, they're just taking a blaster shot to the chest and that's it. They done. This one dude gets shot in the leg, and I was like, is he going to be okay? And then he wasn't moving, and I was like, nope. These are not guns. These are like shot and death guns. Whatever they are.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people died. I was a little like, they just throw things and like that works. They just throw things from their benches and like that's yeah, that's enough to like hit and really concern people standing 20 feet above them with a gun.
Yeah, I mean it's numbers, right?
It
Like
is.
one ant can't really do anything to you, but like 100,000 ants can really screw you up. You
Right,
know?
but I feel like the guards just all stood there and was like, I'm gonna let you throw them. How about you guys just move back to the tight hallway in a firing formation and wait for
Yeah,
them to
agreed.
rush you?
Agreed. I totally should have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get off the stupid platform, go back into the hallway, and then if anyone pokes in, shoot them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the Empire's incompetence allows this prison break to happen. Well done.
Yep.
We figured out what Cassian was doing when he was hacking away at that pipe.
Yeah, it was a water pipe.
Yeah, he's trying to short circuit the electrified floor, which seems like kind of a long shot, but hey, it worked. So
Yeah, it worked apparently. Yeah.
yeah.
Good for it.
Yep. Yeah, that was cool. I thought Kino is Smeagol's name. He had a pretty good speech there.
Mm.
And I like too that Cassian wasn't like, it's my time to shine. I'm gonna rally these people. He's like, I suck at that. I can make the plans. I'm not inspiring anyone. You're good at inspiring people. Get on the mic. Go.
Which is weird because Cassian had a speech to inspire Smeagol to do that. Like to like even join the prison break. Like he had to be the inspiring speech giver.
Right, but it's a different thing in a one-on-one environment than trying to reach like 10,000 dudes, right? I think it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
I mean, I think Cassian could have done it because he's not looking 10,000 people in the face. He's just like talking into a comm bead, you know.
Yeah.
But
it's true. I don't know.
I feel like for story beat purposes, having Smeagol do it made sense because he was in like a de facto leadership role for the prisoners.
Yes.
I'm
And
thinking
he was used to it.
Yeah, I'm thinking I really like Andor, but I almost would prefer each of these little story arcs as their own individual stories, right? Like if you turn them into short stories about people like breaking free of Imperial prisons or robbing Imperial garrisons on their home planet, and then coming together to find this network of people, like-minded individuals. I think I would prefer that rather than like, here's this one important person, we're gonna put them in 6 different locations and be like, it all rolls around him. It's a little, I don't like making this comparison, but World War Z, the movie, with Brad Pitt. Yeah, where it's like, we're gonna take 6 stories from the book and we're just gonna put this one character who shouldn't be in any of them in all of them, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
it's a little bit much like Cassian ends up falling ass backwards into incredibly important events during the rebellion.
Right. I mean, it's still really, really good. I think I would just prefer it if 1 or 2 stories had him and then there were just a bunch of others that didn't. Which would, I guess, just be like the Rebels show or something at that point.
Yeah. And so do it like the whole what's the Jedi thing that Disney did earlier this year or whatever, where it's just a series of like anime and like Japanese
yeah. I don't remember what that's called. Visions.
I don't either. Visions, yeah. So it'd just be like Visions, where the theme is individual rebels doing rebellion things during this era, and you meet new characters and they do stuff and then they're gone.
Right.
Okay, I hear you. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I bet that would do okay.
Because I'm really feeling like, oh, they're really selling us the amount of people in this prison. Is this like 5,000 new recruits for the rebels? Is that what we're getting at here? That like this is where a bulk of their man force come from for like ground troops essentially is.
I mean, depending on how many make it out, sure.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
I think if we look at the average for the building, like for the floor, it's like on Cassian's floor, I think like 9 people died, right? And if it's 9 people per shift, and you got like 2 shifts per floor, blah blah blah. Once you extrapolate that out, I feel like a lot of people get out. Like it's not a pile of corpses down in the bottom floors, you know. I feel like it's pretty good in general for most of them.
But the swimming is what I'm mostly concerned about. Like it's a pretty good swim, pretty long distance, and they're in shape because they've been fed well and they've been working. But I don't know. It just seemed like it was a tough swim, and I'm just worried that a bunch of people either drowned or got picked up because they were too slow. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's
I
possible.
don't know.
I do
Whatever.
wonder if that's freshwater. And like that's how they're able to keep them so well fed. It's like, oh, we just have shit tons of water lying around, so you got plenty of drinking water. The nutrient gruel that we feed them is mostly water based, or it can be processed from water.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if the first person to jump broke his legs on the impact because it was still
Right. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably didn't do a sailor dive.
Probably not.
Yeah, good point. But I don't know. Like they said, what's the line that Kino says? I'd rather die standing than live kneeling, or something like that.
I'd rather die trying to escape than live giving them what they want, right? Or what they need.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. And like he says, I don't know. I'm not telling you how to do this, but I'm going to tell you how I'm playing it. I'm just acting like I'm already dead. So yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of kind of the situation in Iran right now, where like there's all these protests going on about the mandatory hijab for the women and the morality police, and some people who've been killed protesting, and that just seems to, drive the people even stronger to rebel against this government. And then Iran's been kicking around this idea of executing the 15,000 political prisoners that they've picked up over the last month or so. And so it's like, at that point, if you're an Iranian citizen, you kind of have to decide, like, do you back down at this point? Or do you go forward because you'd rather live free than die doing what they want you to do,
Right.
Or die free and live with doing what they want you to do. I got that totally backwards. But
die standing or live kneeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, there's some real world parallels there. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then to the end. Okay, so Kino has this great speech. It's fantastic. And then at the end of the episode, they're like, you know what Luthen needs? He needs about a 4-minute monologue.
Which is also good. Like,
so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, so this writing, it is so much better than anything Star Wars has ever done. The amount of care and craft that was put into that thing, insane. And I love that it comes about naturally, because it turns out Redhead ISB dude is actually a double agent. And he's been working for the rebels, and now he has a daughter. And I love it. He goes to meet with Luthen, and he puts in the Bluetooth, and Luthen opens with, "Hey, heard you had a daughter. How's that going?" And the guy's like, are you threatening me? It's a fair question, because he probably was.
He probably was, yeah.
A little veiled.
It's making Luthen a little bit too much of a mixed. Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? He's definitely playing the, like, I'm a good guy, but I'm forced to use the tools of my enemy. Like, he doesn't want to be doing this, but he looks at the cost and sees the worth and the value. And so I'm wondering if, like, is he going to have a redeeming arc? Is he going to be the, like, end of season bad guy that they kill because he's trying to kill Cassian because he knows too much?
He says he's damned.
Yeah.
He says he will never see the results of the work that he's doing. He will never see the sunrise of all the stuff that he's doing. He's not planning on being there when the Death Star blows up, right?
Well, I mean, where's he going? Like, he doesn't seem like he's going to retire.
Yeah, no, I think he's planning on dying.
But when and how and why? Like,
don't know. He gets betrayed by somebody. Like, he's taking all these risks expanding the network. His little assistant is always like, you're too trusting. You keep bringing in these new people, and they could screw you over, any of them, especially the ones that have seen your face. So I'm sure he's like, I'm taking risks because I believe in this cause. One of these people is going to turn me in eventually, and I'm just going to work as hard as I can until that day comes. I think he's just completely resigned to that.
Okay.
Anyway, I really like that he basically tells poor redheaded. What's his name? It's something stupid like Carl.
It's Mustache Man.
Is it Lonnie?
Lonnie. I think it might be Lonnie.
Oh my gosh, it's such a stupid Star Wars name. Is it not Lonnie? Andor. Yeah.
Lonnie.
It's Lonnie. Which, like, great Star Wars name, man. Anyway. So he's like, I've been doing this for what, 5 or 6 years now?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I want out. I've got a daughter. I need to worry about her now. And Luthen's like, you can't. I'm not gonna let you. Sorry. Like, you're too important. And he's like, but what have you sacrificed? And he's like, Luthen's like, I've been waiting for someone to ask me this question. I've had all this pent up frustration and rage.
Accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, so then he just goes off. It's just so well written and so well delivered. I listened to a podcast where one of the directors was there when Gilroy was working with Luthen, and it wasn't quite working, and then Gilroy tells him it's not a speech. Like, don't deliver it as a speech. And Skarsgård was like, oh, like that clicked for him. And so whatever we got in the end was him not doing a speech, which I thought was interesting.
But it was
because it is kind of speechy.
It's a speech. It's a speech. He goes, "What have you sacrificed?" And then he gives a speech on everything he sacrificed. All right.
Right. Anyway,
it's a speech.
Yes, it was great. Yeah, so Endor was amazing. And then there's, I mean, even on top of that, there's the scene with Mon Mothma meeting up with the,
the rich thug who's going to help her with her banking.
Yeah, with her banking issues.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the choice they made because I was expecting him to come in like dressed all in dark clothes and like with a scar over one of his eyes and like, you know what I mean?
Expecting like a 2-bit gangster.
Kinda, yeah. But they're like, nah, this guy, he cleans up real nice. Like he takes care of his hair and he shaves and he's wearing the clothes, the same style of clothes that other people in Coruscant that are rich are wearing. He's blending in perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, all right, you want help with your problem? Your daughter needs to marry my son. And Mon Mothma was like, what? It's so good. Like, she so rarely just loses composure entirely, but that was not happening for her. And especially because that's what she went through as a kid. She got married at 14 to her husband, who she despises. It's a fair word.
Mm-hmm. She does not live amicably with. Yeah, I mean, it is interesting because on the one hand, Mon Mothma is clearly a mother who loves her daughter who's in rebellious teenage mode and doesn't seem to give two shits about her because, like, the daughter doesn't seem to care a lot about her mother. I mean, because her mother is the one that's putting restraints and restrictions on her, and she's like, Dad would let me wear anything. Dad lets me do what I want. All right, because Dad's playing, like, I'm the cool dad. I'm going to, like, give her whatever she wants. I'm going to be the one that wins the love and the not a divorce, but the the unhappy marriage. And so the mother is feeling on the outs a lot of time. It's like, oh, we plan to go do this thing, and she's like, nah, I'm gonna get Dad to take me there. So it is good to see Mon Mothma's just like, no, I'm not selling you to a gangster's kid, right? Which also they get married. The gangster kills Mon Mothma. All of her wealth gets inherited to the daughter, who's now married to his son. That's awfully convenient way to get your money back, Mr. Gangster. Right?
Sir, it would be, but it'd be suspicious as hell.
It would. It would. But he does know that the banker friend of Mon Mothma, whose name I can't remember, is
Tay.
Tay's political stance is slightly ajar from Imperial standard, right? And so Gangster knows this. They know that charitable organization banking account is wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we're funding the rebellion. The gangster
Right.
has to know that sooner or later, she might find herself very on the outs with the Imperium, right? Like, he's not
Yes.
like, I'm going to kill you. He's like, I know what you're doing, and it's looking like a good chance that your life expectancy is not high.
True. But
And
I thought too. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, he also, if it does turn out and go well, he's got an in at like one of the very highest seats of power, right? So for him, it's like a win-win.
And that's what I was thinking more of. Like, for him, I don't think he needs to do anything underhanded. He's like, he marries into the Mon Mothma family, and bam, immediate connections to all of the wealth and power on Coruscant and in the entire Empire. Like, I think that's all he needs.
Yeah, but backup reasons aren't bad either.
Yeah.
Like, redundancy is a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, sure, if the Empire takes out Mon Mothma, and he manages to get all of the family fortune, then that, sure, he's okay with that. Totally. Yeah, so I just thought that was a great scene too. And it's gonna happen. Like, she's absolutely going to have to give up her daughter. I don't see, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see the show bringing it up and then being like, nah, she found another way.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's on the cards. Like, there's no other alternative. The gangster dude doesn't want anything else. He's like, it's this or bust. And, you know, that's kind of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good
should
stuff.
be, yeah, it's all good. Like, all different parts of that episode and everything that's going on is good. And there's a little bit about Cassian's mom refusing to take her meds for some reason.
Yeah.
I was like, that's concerning. What's going on there? And they did not spend any time on it. So,
no. Although there is someone who's staring at the doctors going into their place, like clearly spying on them. So
right.
It's just like a reminder, hey, this person exists. Cassian still has ties here. I guess that's important to keep note of.
Right.
We got absolutely zero Cyril this episode.
Yep. Cyril this episode.
Yep. So that's disappointing.
It is. I love Twitter is entirely split on him. Like, people, there are 4 different major theories floating around of what he's doing and what he's about and what he's going to do. I think that's the sign of like a really kind of out of the box character, right? He's not fitting very neatly into one of the archetypes of a fictional character, and it's really kind of messing with people's ability to predict what's going to happen. And I like that. I appreciate that about him. He's a weirdo, man.
Yeah.
I still hold out hope that he's going to stalk Deidre again, and then she's going to just destroy him.
She's gonna push him off a ledge in Coruscant.
Yeah.
See you on the ground floor, buddy.
Yeah. Or they like have him sent to Siberia, the Imperial Siberia, put his mom in a work camp, like just destroy his entire family. Like Uncle What's His Face is dead too.
I mean, I half expected him to get locked up and sent to a certain water-based prison.
Yeah, and then be like, I know that guy.
And he keeps trying to like talk to the guards, being like, "Hey, this guy's actually like a wanted criminal." And he's like, "We know he's in prison." Like,
yeah, you moron. They keep stabbing him with their sticks, and he's like, "No, you don't understand." Oh my gosh, that would have been so good. Oh, I'm sad we didn't get that. That would have been hilarious.
Oh well.
Dumb old Cyril. It's too late for it now. Cassian's gone.
Cassian is gone.
Yeah, I'm still like, I understand he gets to the beach so he's free, but like, there's a lot more stuff that has to happen between that point and freedom. I feel like that they're probably not going to show us.
Yeah, I hope you kept your blaster. I have a feeling you'll be in need of it again.
Yeah, or like a way to get off planet when you have nothing. You don't have any money.
Nope.
You're a wanted criminal. Not that the Empire has any kind of network involving wanted criminals, apparently.
If we assume that this is the same prison, like the prison's on the same planet that he got arrested, he can go back to the hotel room he was staying at with the lady, because he hid a bunch of money above the shower.
I don't think it is the same planet.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because they were in the courtroom. They were, after like people had been sentencing them, they shuffled them into like one of 3 different ships.
Yeah.
And I don't think those were like planet jumpers. Like I think it was a very short flight. They're like, hey, get on, sit down, take your shoes off. All right, we're landing.
interesting. So it says Cassian is brought to a prison on Narkina 5. So I think Narkina 5 is a planet.
Mm-hmm. Is that where he got arrested?
Yeah. Small water moon. And I'm looking to see where he is when he gets arrested. So Cassian goes to Ferrix and talks to Bix. And then he tries to convince Marva to leave with him, and he travels to Neamos. Yeah, different planet.
Different planet.
Yeah, so he's out. He needs to get off planet to get access to that money, and I don't know how he does that. This is not an easy thing, and I just worry that I don't know. If it was regular Star Wars, I'd worry it's like now he's back on Ferrix and everything's fine, and the show just is like not concerned about that at all.
Right.
But Andor seems like it would care.
I'm going to assume that the other guy that we see with him, the guy from his little table, is going to be like, yeah, I used to live around here. I've got an old shuttle in my barn. Let's go check it out. And that's the only reason he's with Cassian right now.
I think that dude's actually... I think that dude's in Rogue One, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yep. People were recognizing him from Rogue One.
Okay.
And so, yeah. So that's why he escaped with Cassian. But it would be super handy, too, if also he has access to a shuttle that's right nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, great stuff. Such good stuff. And it's just not getting any attention on Disney Plus, and it bums me out.
What do you mean it's not getting any attention? Like, what does that mean?
Disney has been talking about it, and like it's not getting the views that other Star Wars stuff has gotten on Disney Plus. They're very openly like disappointed with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so I don't know. I mean, I think we talked about this officially. Yeah, there's a season 2, but they could put the clamps on that, so it's not a guarantee. Yeah. I don't know. I did hear something as well in a podcast that like maybe the reason Andor is so good is because the previous Star Wars properties with Boba Fett and stuff just didn't do well compared to what they wanted. And so they're like, screw it. Like, we're not going to micromanage here on Andor because we're not expecting it to do well anyway. So there's not as much meddling from the corporate overlords on this one. And that's why it was allowed to be so much of what Tony Gilroy wanted it to be.
Right, maybe.
Don't know. It's just a theory, though.
I can see that.
Yeah. Anyway, it is great. Really, really enjoying it.
Yep. 2 more episodes. That was episode 10, I believe.
Yes, 11 and 12 left in this season.
Q.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to hear it. All right. Did you do your book assignment?
No.
No? Okay, never mind. Next week.
Was it an official assignment?
No, but you seemed interested.
I did. I poked at it.
And he looked at the cost and was like, no.
Yeah. I was like,
How much was it?
I don't know. I mean, it was like $15. I was just like,
Okay. Because I paid like 12 for the audiobook. I paid 12 Australian, so I paid $8 for the audiobook.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're sniffing your nose up at like $8? That doesn't seem right. But if it was 15, oh my.
It was like double. I don't know.
Fair enough.
I'll sniff around it some more. Oh, also I saw Wakanda Forever. I forgot to mention that one.
Oh yeah? How is it?
Yeah. It was pretty good. It was so it was very clear that they intended this movie to be with Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then he died, and they were like, we're gonna do some rewrites, obviously. So what was a movie that was just going to be the story of Black Panther and Wakanda and Namor and all this other exciting stuff had also to squeeze in like we're mourning T'Challa, but also we're mourning Chadwick Boseman here, right? It's this weird mesh of like the actors have to be acting like they're mourning T'Challa, but also they're feeling very sad about Chadwick too. So there's this meshing going on here.
Yeah, I did see some people talking about so I saw it on Reddit, but it was under like r/persecution fetish or something,
right?
Where there's some certainly politically aligned people who took issue with the movie as a whole. They were like, this movie is nothing more than a garish manipulation of people's mourning over Chadwick Boseman and like saying it's T'Challa, like, and being like, let's just print that. Is basically their summary of what happens in the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What are they gonna do? They can't. It's impossible to separate. You can't have the characters in the movie mourning T'Challa and have it not bleed over into people's actual sadness that Chadwick Boseman passed away. You can't do that.
Right, but you could have just recast T'Challa.
Oh, excellent point. They could have chosen to just recast T'Challa.
They should have had Don Cheadle do it. I think that would have been great.
Just have him continue his long theme of replacing black actors in the MCU and acting like nothing changed. Yeah.
It's me. I'm here. Get used to it.
Yeah, I'm Rhodey. Yep.
I mean,
oh my God.
Obviously he couldn't have done it, but
it would have been the. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that would have been hilarious. Okay. But no, they didn't do that. So yeah, so the movie becomes, we have to mourn T'Challa because they made the choice to not recast T'Challa. They have to come up with a new Black Panther. They have to do work so the new Black Panther is feasibly believable as the new Black Panther, which takes a lot of work. So there's all this stuff is squeezed into this movie, and it's 2 hours and 41 minutes long as a result.
Jeez.
Yeah, I thought it was a 90-minute Marvel film.
90 minutes. None of their movies are 90 minutes. I think
Really?
they're all.
I mean,
they're,
like Endgame and stuff.
I assume they're all at least 2 hours, maybe like just under with credits, right? Like 2 hours or 1 hour 50 minutes ish. You know, I don't think any of them are 90 minutes. Which
MCU average runtime.
As an aside, one of my friends was like, "Hey, you want to watch all the Marvel movies in chronological order?" She wants to do movie nights. So yesterday she came around. We were going to start, and she goes, "All right, what's the first movie?" I'm like, "Oh, Captain America." She goes, "Oh, I've seen that one." I'm like, "Okay, so you don't want to watch these in order. You want to watch them in order from where you've seen them." Okay.
So where was that?
Where was what?
Where was her chronological start that she hadn't seen yet?
The Avengers.
Oh, not a bad place to start.
Not a bad place to start, but I'm like, okay, I'm getting excited. I'm like, we're planning this, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're going to watch all the movies in order. This is great. I'll get to refresh all my knowledge on events as they happened. No, we got 5 minutes into Iron Man 2, and she goes, oh, I've seen this one. We get 15 minutes into Thor, and she's like, oh, I have seen this one. I'm like, okay, can we just start and finish a movie, please?
Help me out here. No, you're right, though. Holy crap. Iron Man was 2 hours and 6 minutes. Incredible Hulk was 1 hour 52. Iron Man 2 was 2 hours and 4. Thor was 2 hours. Captain America, the First Avenger, was 2 hours. Avengers was 2.5. Iron Man 3 was 2:10. Thor was 1. You're right. Everything's 2 hours. Let me see. Is this the longest one yet, though? Because nothing's clocked over 2.5 yet.
I think Infinity War is the longest.
Infinity War was 2:29.
Yeah.
Endgame was 3 hours and 1 minute. Endgame wins. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Holy crap. I did not realize it was 3 hours.
I do, because I remember watching, we watched it for commentary, available on patreon.com/Thermocron.
That is true. That was a good time.
That was a good time.
So it clocks in as the second longest MCU movie ever. Wakanda Forever.
And I honestly, I don't think it has any right to be the second longest MCU movie ever. That movie could have been a bit shorter, I feel like. I haven't even seen it, and that sounds like it could be a bit shorter.
Right, but it was going to be, and then Chadwick Boseman died and made the decision to not recast him. And so
How dare he die? How dare he die?
No one's accusing him for dying of cancer, dude. Come on.
Sounds like you are.
No, because again, like you said, could have just chosen to recast him.
Yeah. Yeah.
There have been riots. Like, you think people would have been really mad at that one?
I did see people on Twitter being like, please don't recast him because he is like this icon meant so much in that role. Recasting, like it's weird. To me, that screams we would prefer a bad movie over a recast role, which I don't get. But if that's what they prefer, that's what people prefer. Like, and it's not my choice to make it.
No.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I heard some split reactions on Namor.
who?
The Submariner. He's the MCU's version of Aquaman, basically.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, is the bad guy in the Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
But it's like they're trying to go with the it's the same thing they did in the first Black Panther. They're like, the bad guy is bad, but you understand his motivations and you kind of agree with him on some of the stuff that he's saying.
I'm trying to remember the first Black Panther movie. He basically wanted to ship Wakandan weapons across the world to start a race war.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the bad thing, but you understand his motivations on a certain level.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's what's going on with Namor here too. They didn't just go cartoon villain with him. They're like, oh, okay, we can understand his backstory and what his goals are. Yeah.
Is his backstory he hates people eating fish and he really wants to stop like the tuna industry from like killing all the tuna fish? Like
no. No, it is not.
Is it just like an environmental thing? Like we're flooding the oceans with trash. That's a problem.
Nope. No, it's an isolationist thing. Like his kingdom has been hidden from the world, like Wakanda was. There are actually some pretty overt comparisons here. And then the world. Okay, so remember when Wakanda was like, we're going to open our borders and we're going to share our technology with the world, and you can use our vibranium for cool stuff.
Right.
Apparently, Wakanda was like, F that, we're not doing that anymore because T'Challa's dead. And so the world's like, well, all right, I guess we'll find vibranium on our own then. So they create a machine that can detect vibranium, and they're looking for it on the floor of the ocean because, I don't know, vibranium came from a meteorite, and if it hit the Earth, it probably landed in the water somewhere because we're like 75% ocean, right?
Right, 75% ocean, and all of the Earth is already being dug up and built on, so we know it's not there. Yeah. It makes sense.
So they're digging for vibranium and they find some, and it's close to the kingdom that Namor has. So he kills everybody on board the ship with his people, and is like, "All right, we got to make sure that never happens again." So he's decided to take some steps to make sure that doesn't happen again, and his people stay hidden.
There's a lot happening in oceans in the MCU, right? Like the Eternals had a giant goddamn. What are they called? Cosmic being, or just the Eternal, the giant things.
Yeah,
I can't remember what they're called. I think they might just be called Eternals. Or is Eternals the name of the crew? The group of people that they were made. But anyway, there's a giant statue of a Tin Man coming out of the ocean.
Celestial,
yeah. There's a giant one of those permanently half embedded in the planet, right?
Yes.
That no one is ever talking about. I would think there might be some like super rare cosmic metals maybe around there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or its emergence might lead lots of people looking around the oceans anyway.
Right, but the problem is the Eternals has nothing to do with the MCU as a whole. Nothing that happened in the Eternals has had any effect on anything in future MCU properties, except for She-Hulk, where there was one online article about it.
I mean, I'm just saying, it feels like you don't like that's a plot point. People digging around the oceans looking for underwater shit and seeing what's happening. Doesn't seem like it needs to be vibranium related. It feels like it. Like there should be a lot of that going on anyway, and they're just being like, "Oh no, we're just looking for some metal."
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, should be.
Yeah, feel like it's definitely
vibranium they're looking for. So
okay, just vibranium. Got it.
Yeah, because that has to tie into the Wakanda part of them not sharing their vibranium.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I don't have many major complaints about it. Probably won't watch it again, but it was good.
Fair enough.
I mean, I do think they did a really good job with the farewell to Chadwick Boseman part of it. Yeah, like one of the things they did, the Marvel opening reel thing, is completely silent, and it's just highlights of Chadwick doing the T'Challa thing.
Cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway. Yep. Okay. Cool. I think time's up. We gotta go.
Yeah, time's up.
It is bedtime for the children's.
Mm,
So thanks everybody for hanging out for another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour, streamed live here on twitch.tv/Somicron every week. You can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/Somicron and also by buying merch at falconpaladin.store. What's up, Bucky?
I think Black Friday's next weekend, isn't it?
Sorry, what?
Black Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Thanksgiving's next weekend.
Thanksgiving.
Or next Thursday. Yeah.
What is the discount code that I've got ready for that? It is, discount code is Black Friday. So all one word, all lowercase. If you want to use that and get some money off the store, it'll be on Black Friday. So if it's Black Friday where you are, you can use that code and save some money.
Nice. Which for those of you who may not be part of the Black Friday culture, it's just the day after American Thanksgiving. So
actually, I believe it'll be the code is actually valid all the way through Cyber Monday, so you get the weekend.
Nice.
Yep.
So yeah, starts the last Friday of the month. There you go.
There you go.
All right, good. So again, thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy, and above all, you take care of yourselves.